Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Hope you are good. And I am going to say this UAE, please free Sudan. Free Sudan. I mean, it is really heartbreaking that something like this is going on. I mean, all eyes should be on Sudan as it stands. And please free Sudan, free Congo, free Haiti. It's really been a whole lot going on in Sudan, and this is not getting enough media attention, right? Kids as young as 6 years are being essayed, and mothers are being essayed, or women are being essayed in front of their family and in front of their children, right? Some of them have refused that if something like this is going to happen to me, let me end it up. That is how bad it is. The fact that the world is in kind of silent over what is going on. I mean, this is everybody. People are silent. This is absolutely atrocity going on in Sudan, and I hope you keep Sudan in mind because as of 2 years, 2 days ago, about 600 people were unalive. I really do not understand why the world is not saying anything about it. Is it because it's people that look like me? You know what? Let's get into this.
The situation in Sudan right now is incomprehensible. It is progressing so fast and so many people are dying. Yesterday, in Gazira state, in a village called Escalation, where most of the people are farmers who mind their own business, the UAE-funded RSF interred and massacred over 600 people. Over 600 people. I know it's hard to visualize large numbers like this, but this is what 500 people looks like. Now imagine 100 more added onto that, all in one day, in the span of a couple hours. On top of the people that they massacred, there has been over 134 women who have committed suicide due to the fact that they are witnessing such brutality and due to the fear that they think that they might experience sexual assault. On the topic of sexual assault, during this invasion by the RSF, over 29 confirmed rape cases, with the youngest being 6 years old. 6 years old! On top of the RSF massacring and showing no mercy to anyone, including a family of 3 generations, the grandparents, their children, and those children's children, the grandchildren, they are committing a systematic sexual assault and rape program where women rather kill themselves than have to experience it. This is a genocide. This is ethnic cleansing. This is not just a civil war. We need to really comprehend the fact that this is not just a civil war. This is a war on civilians funded by the UAE for Sudanese gold and resources. According to sources on the ground, they completely wiped out Al-Siriha. Completely wiped out. There is no one there. It is a ghost town. Al-Siriha is like my third home in Sudan. I used to go there quite often. Most of my dad's side of the family lives there. We called my cousin yesterday and she picked up the phone just sobbing. We couldn't get anything out of her. She was just sobbing. I don't even know the horrors she experienced. I don't even know the horror my family experienced because it's so bad. Telecommunication blackouts also make it so much harder to contact the people who are living in active war zones like this. This is a genocide. This is an ethnic cleansing. Let me repeat. This is a genocide. This is an ethnic cleansing. This is not just a civil war. The UAE must be held accountable for its crimes. The RSF must be held accountable for its crimes. They must be held accountable. And this is one of the most deadliest massacres since April 2023, and Western media is not saying anything about it. Are 600 Sudanese lives really that insignificant that there's not one headlining piece of news that, this Janjaweed militia went into this village filled with farmers who literally mind their own business, who are literally living in poverty for most of them. All they do is farm and mind their own business. Some of the nicest people ever. 600 people of them died and no one cares. How much longer are we going to continue to fail the Sudanese people? How much longer? Because it's getting too much. It's getting way too much. Who, what, when, how, and why? Since the last video I made about Sudan blew up, I've gotten a lot of questions about people who are trying to understand the war better. So I'm going to give you guys a crash course on this war. It's the last time I'm doing this because I've given quite a few, but just because I'm sure I've got a lot more followers to do that video, I'm just going to do this one more time. The question I got the most was, who is the RSF and what do they want? The RSF started off as a tribal militia formed by the former dictator Omar al-Bashir to commit genocide in Darfur in 2003. It has then surpassed that and become a mercenary-filled militia that has been funded and protected by the UAE. So its roots are actually already genocidal and tribal. They were created just to commit genocide. They were formerly known as the Janjaweed. They have gained more and more legitimacy over time due to the EU, USA, UK, and of course the UAE. Oh, as well as Israel. So long story short, the RSF is a tribal militia that started off to commit genocide by former dictator Omar al-Bashir, which has now been co-opted and bought by the UAE, which has then bought and recruited thousands of mercenary fighters all over Africa, Chad, Central Africa, Nigeria. You know, it spans from all across the Sahel region, who have been doing their bidding for them. What does the RSF want? What they really want is power, technically. But currently they're being controlled by the UAE. So the power that they are getting is actually going to the UAE, which wants to build the Emirates in Sudan, and wants access to the Red Sea and wants access to a plethora of gold and other resources. They don't really have an objective other than power and other than greed and money. And they're recruiting thousands of child soldiers and manipulating them to be a part of their mercenary group. Second question, which I already addressed a little bit, is what does the UAE want from this? And as I said, they want access to our Red Sea, to our resources. The UAE is known for its gold, but has no gold mines. 85% of Africa's gold is smuggled into the UAE, with 90% of Sudan's gold being smuggled to the UAE. The UAE has been using a front of building hospitals, sending aid, when really they're actually just sending weapons to the RSF. They built a hospital in Chad for Sudanese refugees. This makes no sense because build it in Sudan, you know what I mean, if you're really that helpful. But realistically, Sudanese people can't get into that hospital. There's no roads that lead to it. It's really just a front to send weapons and continue sending planes and crates filled with weapons. Why did this war start? So after 2019, the Sudanese people who have successfully pushed out former dictator Omar al-Bashir wanted to switch over to civilian-led government. The RSF then came out and wanted to establish their own legitimacy and be the ones controlling Sudan. Of course, the Sudanese military was like, hell no, you're not doing that. And they also did not want to switch over to civilian-led rule. Since then, they have been fighting. Since then, there's different international factors who have been coming into this war, placing their bidding, doing their bets, picking sides to see which they can get more money out of. And since April 2023, there has been over 300,000 Sudanese people who have died just from warfare-related causes only. 300,000 from warfare-related causes, and probably hundreds of thousands more, or even millions from starvation and other war-related things that come with it, starvation, illness, a lot of suicides happening as well. How does this war end? Who do we root for? Who's the good guys? Who's the bad guys? Root for the Sudanese people. Pray for the Sudanese people. Stand with the Sudanese people because they are the people who are most affected, the civilians. Not the SAF, not the RSF, but the Sudanese people. We pray that the RSF is held accountable for their crimes. We pray that the UAE is held accountable for aiding and abetting these crimes. And we pray that Sudanese people can actually transferred to a civilian-led government, because we have seen that a military-led government has caused us to be in this position right now. Unfortunately, the SAF has not been doing a good job at protecting us. A lot of questions I've also got was, where's the army? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Ask them, bro. I do not know where the army is. A couple weeks ago, they took over a lot of places in Khartoum that were formerly under RSF rule, and we were happy, like they're making strides now, but it kind of just died down. I don't know if it was performative. I don't know the reason for that, but we obviously seen that they were capable of doing that. So I don't know. Right now, we keep the pressure up on the UAE. We need the UAE to stop funding the RSF, because as soon as they stop funding the RSF, they will cease to exist. They have not that much external support. They're not a real military. They're just a mercenary militia, right? So what we do is put pressure on the UAE, and the UAE is feeling pressure right now. I think I've answered most of these questions, but yeah, this is just an brief understanding of it. There's so much more videos. I have my own videos. Go through my account. I also have For Sudanese Liberation on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter or X, whatever. This is not Gaida. It's in my bio as well. I have a lot of sources. There's a lot of Sudanese people talking about it. I'm kind of just tired of answering the same questions over and over, because that information is out there. You just need to put in a little more effort to find it. But I made this video for y'all so you can watch it and be like, okay, now I guess I understand. Thank you for giving us the time to explain this again. But yeah.
Habibi, come to Dubai. No, Dubai, come to The Hague. The UAE is complicit in genocide and nobody bats an eye. No wonder they fully support Israel's genocide of Palestinians. Because the UAE has been supportive and benefiting from the genocide and humanitarian crisis in Sudan. Just yesterday, an entire Sudanese village was completely wiped off the map. 500 men were killed by RSF soldiers, and the women? The women have been resorting to suicide to protect themselves from SA and grape. This is one of the deadliest events in the entire 18 months of war in Sudan, and the mainstream media aren't reporting on it at all. And the UAE supports it and finances it for the sole purpose of stealing the country's natural resources. Nearly 1 million people are at risk of starvation, and 10 million have been displaced. We should be looking to stop genocide in all areas of the world. Pay attention to Sudan.
Sudan is suffering right now and no one is really talking about it. Sudanese paramilitary group RSF reportedly attacked and unalived more than 120 people. In this 5-day-long rampage, RSF fighters indiscriminately shot at civilians, committed SA, looted homes, they looted markets, and they set farms on fire. This happened in the Gazira region. Multiple villages were attacked from both the east and the north, forcing thousands of families to flee outside of that region. The town of al-Sariha in north of Gazira experienced the worst violence on Friday. At least 124 people unalived and more than 200 people injured. Also, many reports of women and girls getting massacred by these RSF soldiers, a tactic to make the men flee and leave the town so that the women are left and they can them. But more than 70% of these cases of SA happen in front of the family members. Out of all of the SA that's reported in Sudan, RSF commits about 80% of them. No journalist or media is around this area, so no one really knows how catastrophic this attack really was. There are reports going around on social media that more than 120 women and girls took their own lives so that they could avoid getting SA'd by these RSF soldiers. This hasn't been individually verified. Given what the media has reported, it's probably way worse than what we know. RSF paramilitary group is backed by the UAE. They are very well aware of the atrocities that they commit, but they unfortunately just don't care. Let's continue to talk about Sudan because this situation is so just terrible.
Hundreds of people were just massacred in Sudan, and Western media outlets are either not covering it or they're saying it was just dozens of people. And the reason why the RSF just wiped out hundreds of people, looted homes, raped tons of women and children, including someone at the age of 6, is because one of the top commanders of the RSF defected recently. And he was from the Gazira state. And the RSF went to that area and murdered hundreds of civilians as payback. And people on the ground are saying that women are committing to get away from this, and rape is used as a weapon of war here. So many people have been raped, so many people have been killed. An entire village has been wiped out. And remember that the RSF is backed by the UAE so that they can keep this region destabilized, so that they can loot Sudan for its natural resources. It's almost impossible to get aid in, and there are so little resources, and organizations are running out of funding. I have a couple links in my bio if you would like to donate to the Khartoum Kitchen or Mutual Aim. They are both raising funds to deliver aid and food to the people of Sudan. This is just a continuation of the Darfur genocide.
Everyone, we need all eyes on Sudan right now. Please give me a minute of your time because Sudan is not getting enough attention as it needs. As we speak, Sudan is experiencing one of the worst humanitarian crises and the worst displacement in the globe. Over 18 million people are experiencing a forced starvation, and it is projected that 3 million people will die within the next 3 months because of this forced starvation if we don't act right now. Over 8.6 million people have been forcibly displaced out of their homes, and we need everyone on this. A lot of people are not paying attention to this war, and I am a problem also because I haven't spoken about it enough, and I will do so moving forward. We need to be calling our representatives to urge the assembly to send more aid, to put more pressure in sending aid and food to Sudan. There's also a GoFundMe in my bio that's for a Khartoum aid kitchen that is directly feeding people in Sudan. 20,000 people just donate $5 to this GoFundMe. They're able to reach their goal and open more kitchens, feed more people in Sudan. If you can't donate, there's so many ways you can help. You can start speaking, you can start making videos, you can start using filters and audios that are made to donate to Sudan. No one is free until we are all free.
In a single village in Gazira state, central Sudan, more than 500 people have been killed. The RSF have lined up the men of the village and killed each one of them. Bodies are scattered on the street. The women of the village are now killing themselves. Up to 100. We've been hearing reports of 100 women committing suicide just so they could protect themselves from the RSF, sexual violence and sexual terrorism. For an entire week, the RSF have been committing a lot of massacres and genocides all over Gazira state. They have lined up children and shot them at their heads. They have killed patients in hospitals. They have killed people with disabilities, actually slaughtered people with disabilities, all because an RSF commander has surrendered to the army. Central Sudan, Gazira is bleeding. SOS.
We need all eyes on Sudan. The RSF is currently looting, massacring, and absolutely devastating villages in Gazira. I'm going to be reading tweets from Sudanese activists and orgs that you should be following, and make sure you watch the full video for the call to actions at the end. Today's quick update, October 26th. Clashes between SAF and RSF continued in El Fashir for the third consecutive day. Latest reports out of Gazira state indicate at least 37 cases of SA confirmed, part of RSF's rampage in the state this past week. Over 130 Sudanese women committed mass unaliving in the last 24 hours in Gazira province to avoid being SA'd by UAE-backed RSF militia. Mass displacement from Gazira has not only scattered families from their homes, but from each other. Children are found cities and states away, like this kid who is from the village of Al-Mihadet, found by strangers in a mosque in Gadaref. We have a witness who said, "My family is subjected to be forced to watch the SA and killing crimes as scare tactics. They are being threatened and will face the same fate." We have 34 documented cases of child SA violence, the youngest being 6 years. This is a handful of experiences of the horrors happening in Sudan. So please keep your eyes on Sudan. Here are accounts that you should absolutely be following. Please feel free to screenshot this. Also make sure that you are boycotting the UAE, and make sure you support mutual aid efforts on the ground in Sudan. You can find them on our spreadsheet, and if there are any other reputable orgs on the ground in Sudan that are missing on our spreadsheet, please comment down below.
Keep eyes on Sudan. Here's some of the latest news from Sudan from the last day or so. UAE-backed Rapid Support Forces militia is imposing a siege on Al-Hilaliyah and Al-Qura in Al-Gazira state. All the stores and homes have been looted. RSF attacked the village of Al-Mutamma in Al-Gazira state as well, displacing many civilians. The UAE-backed Rapid Support Forces also hit Al-Fashir in Darfur with artillery shelling and targeted Umdurman in Khartoum state with drones. Yesterday, the Rapid Support Forces committed another massacre in Unki al-Hur in West Kordofan state. At least a dozen civilians were killed, their shops were looted and then burnt to the ground, and their homes were as well. The Sudanese armed forces did an airstrike on a large gathering of the UAE-backed Rapid Support Forces militia today in Jebel al-Aliya in Khartoum state. More reports are coming in of the Rapid Support Forces capturing more land in White Nile state. Many people have been displaced from Al-Jaquqa. The RSF has been attacking and massacring people. Everybody who comes says they know somebody or saw somebody who was martyred. They also yesterday attacked the mosque and killed the imam, or the person who leads the prayer, and his son, telling them where Pe0ple went, go with him. Pe0ple is the former RSF commander from Al-Gazira state who just defected to the SAF. He has joined the Sudanese armed forces, and a lot of these massacres are quote-unquote revenge by the Rapid Support Forces for this. That's the news I have for you today. If you want to see more news and keep up with the details of everything and see it as it's happening, you can join my Telegram channel, which I'm going to drop in the comments, and it's also in my bio, Sudan News.
So this is all that I got from this video. I mean, there are so many videos to this. I do not want to bring clips where some certain things are happening because I know what might happen. Something might happen to the video. And recently, I have already so many warnings, like on my both channels. I got warnings on them, and if anything happens again, I might get a strike. So I am at the same time trying to be very careful too. I see a lot of people in the comment section asking me, why am I not talking about what is going on in Sudan, right? If you have been following my channel, you absolutely will know that I have done all these videos. I mean, Sudan, Congo, like I did not do one, I did not do two, I did not do three, four. I have done several videos on Sudan, Congo, Haiti also. Well, most times I merge all of them together. But the way it is right now in Congo, sorry, in Sudan, also free Congo, free Haiti, free Sudan, right? The way it is going on right now in Sudan, it's really nothing to write home about because people are being unalive daily. When I say unalive, you can imagine unaliving 600 persons, like almost at a stretch, right? See, YouTube, please, this is for educational purposes. This is to bring an awareness to what is going on all over the world. Please do not give me strike. I do not want to get any strike from this video. This is just me saying it. Please, please. Kids under 6 years, being, right? Some women have chosen that I do not also want to be great in front of my child or in front of my family. Some of them already use their hands to do what is best for them. When I say that, you absolutely will understand themselves, right? And who is doing all this? How is this happening? Nobody is talking about it. Nobody is saying anything about it. Why is the media quiet? Even when you Google that, you definitely will not get good details to back whatever you are talking of. Why? Because the media is also controlling whatever that is going on. I really do not understand how long people will, what people will have to go through in order to be free. Because they told me that slavery is over, but it is not. It is not getting enough media attention. Why? Because it is happening to people that look like me. It is Sudan, of course. Who are the people doing this? UAE, allegedly. Let me use that, but they are the ones doing what is happening in Sudan. Now, sometimes I sit back and I ask myself, how come a country that does not have gold, a country that doesn't have gold in quantum? That is UAE. The fact that they go around cleansing that they've been doing to people, stealing from people, not just only stealing, unaliving at the same time, people, just to take away their resources. How long do people have to go through this, or how many people do they need to before they stop? Most times when we talk about slavery, I didn't know if people underrate or something, like do not talk about how horrible or how UAE, the kind of things they have done to other people, other countries. See, I am cutting and joining. Why? I know why I am doing that. But I hope you listen very good, and I hope you pick something out of what I am saying. Enough is enough. They are dying of hunger. They are fleeing their home, their villages. They are absolutely running away from their hometowns. Why? Because you all invaded them. What do you people want from them? You are taking away. How do people really? Sometimes I do not understand when we talk about humanity, when we talk about life, a life after life, or a life after death. I do not understand it because majority of the things that are happening requires a lot of intense question, like Why would people do things like this to other people? How do you sit back and watch people go, go through pains, right? Without you knowing or you not thinking about that. I just do not, I don't know. I am trying to wrap my head around it because I just don't understand what a 6-year-old child did to you. What did a 6-year-old child know? What did a 3-year, 4, 5-year-old child know? Absolutely. They are very innocent and know nothing going on. But still, you all are going to do the mother and at the same time come back to the child. Who deserves something like this? Nobody on earth deserves to go through something like this just because some people decided to be foolish and are selfish in their life. Because if it is not selfishness, if it is not quest for more, if it is not greediness, why would something like this be happening? See, the world better be watching, all eyes on Sudan, because they deserve all the help that they will get. Or I don't know how I to put this. Please, as much as you can, try as much as you can to share the video and let people know that Sudan is going through it. You know, sometimes when we talk about the genocide going on, some people think their own genocide is probably more important. But man, what is happening in Sudan and what is happening in Congo, Haiti, I really cannot say enough. I cannot talk about it enough because it is, of course, you all already know why the medias are not even picking up, like, are not saying it, they are not fighting over it. I have also, see, I am sorry to digress, but there is need to digress. There is need to digress because some people think it's just only one side that it is happening. And for that reason, other people do not deserve to get help or they don't deserve to be heard. Or people, I mean, you all should focus on us because we are the center of everything. And I am also not forcing content creators to create content on this because it is absolutely your channel and you can do whatever you want on your channel. And anybody that probably tries to query you, you can tell the person to go open a channel and talk about it. But I am not trying to fight anybody. The best I can do is to please beg you to please look into this story, share this, let it also get media attention like other people are getting attention because people of Sudan, they absolutely deserve to be helped and they deserve our help. And nobody should have to go through this or live through this in life because that is absolutely inhumane. Sometimes I sit back and I ask myself, where did the love go? Humanity, it looks like it is lost. Some people do not care about other people. It is just all about them. If it is not all about them, that it's share the story. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.